So, I was planning on going on a Carnival cruise for my birthday this year in December. And then I have a girls' trip for May, and then a family trip for June, all on Carnival. And they have decided that they don't want to be the spirit of the seas anymore, and I just don't know what to do with that information. I feel like we should just move to another cruise line. Royal Caribbean is a bit too bougie for the fun I'm looking to have, and MSC is way too boring. Do y'all have any recommendations for who we should switch to before it's too late? Should we go to Virgin? Do y'all like Virgin cruises? Let me know in the comments, because I don't know.
I don't understand why people just can't be realistic and civilized, and you don't have to do backflips. I seen the actual video of the people that was doing backflips inside of the hallway with other people waiting to get by. I seen a video where people actually got into a confrontation. I had to go and look that up on X because I wanted to know for myself exactly what's going on with Carnival. And if people have a legitimate claim to where they're actually racist and they don't like black people, or are they trying to avoid alienating their long term customers in order to avoid ghetto culture? And there's a difference. Black people, for the most part, most of us are civilized. We pay our taxes. We are educated and we like to communicate effectively. More importantly, we know how to avoid problematic issues and ghetto people that then mess it up for everybody else. On the flip side, ghetto people, which we all know who they are, right? We got them in our family, we have people that we grew up with, so on and so forth. Ghetto people don't believe that they have limits. They pay the minimum in order to get on the cruise, and then they do the maximum when it comes to creating the problems. And so those type of people, which I'm not sure. It looks with the whole rainbow color hair and everything like that, and I'm not one to judge, but at the same time, we have to profile. And profiling keeps you safe. Profiling helps you to be more successful. Profiling also allows for you to be able to keep your business and not alienate other customers. And I believe that that is what Carnival is doing. Carnival, from all of the research that I've done, because I've never seen a black person say that they've had a problem on Carnival when they were just being regular individuals, pay their money, go and have fun, cruise, go to your destination or whatever. The other side of it is that the only people that I see complaining are the ones that fit the narrative, the ones that fit the profile. And I say it all the time. Stereotypes are earned, they are not given. Stereotypes are earned, they are not given. And so what I'm wondering, because for whatever reason, she thinks that if they switch cruise lines, which is going to be exponentially more expensive, and that is one of the reasons why people choose to go and sail on Carnival in the first place. And I don't think that there's a wrong business philosophy as long as a cruise line continues to make money and they generate revenue and they're doing successful, then cool. It doesn't matter if it costs this much or that much. I believe that when you raise the prices and you raise the quality of the cruise itself, you then remove some of the elements from the people because people don't want to pay a whole lot of money to be disturbed. People don't want to pay a whole lot of money in order to be ghettofied. People don't want to pay a whole lot of money to have to deal with a certain element. And that's one of the reasons why you go on vacation in the first place, is to remove yourself from some of the things that you would normally subject yourself to in order to relax. Now, I'm all for partying. I'm all for having a good time. They have clubs on the cruises for that reason. But some of the stuff I've seen is crazy. And the fact that people refuse to take accountability for what they see happening on the cruise line, and it may not necessarily be you, but you then support it when you are one of the people that advocate for it without holding the people accountable that is a part of your community that's ruining and also ruining your reputation. It forces us to have to stereotype and profile to make sure that they get the right element. Now, it's funny because I see the same thing happening in our neighborhoods, right? On one hand, I was watching a content creator, and I'm not going to say their name because there's no point in being able to call out content creators. No, it's not important. We're not reviewing a video right now. But I've seen a content creator continuing to go off on white people and the white community and the system. And largely, a lot of it was based off of Trump, and they didn't like the tax bill and all of this stuff, right? They didn't like the fact that we were deporting illegal migrants, and they weren't an illegal migrant, so I'm not sure how they had any vested interest in it, but they were creating content, so you know how it is. And they were saying that a lot of the migrants were going through some of the similar things that black people were going through, and that they were discriminated against and they were being removed against their will and all of that stuff. And so obviously I disagreed, because it's a much different situation than somebody being brought over here in order to do indentured servitude or be a slave in order to build up something, and for people to look at them as a commodity or item, and then they leverage them in order to continue to build up their wealth. That's one thing, but somebody coming over here undocumented illegally and then taking advantage of the system and taxpayer dollars is a whole nother conversation. But the part that was really interesting was that they continued to run in the victim Olympics, or create an argument that then justified people running in the victim Olympics by saying that it was the system's fault, that a lot of what happens in our community is based off of socioeconomic status, is based off of the system, is based off of our schools, is based off of police, is based off of everything except for taking ownership and responsibility. Meanwhile, I looked at Chicago and St. Louis and New York and several different places over this past weekend, to where there were hundreds, and I'm not kidding. In Indianapolis, downtown Indianapolis, it was several people that died. Chicago, 6 people got killed, 44 people at least shot. St. Louis, ditto. You know what I'm saying? They arrested over 80 people and held their parents accountable. Several different places experienced several different people within the community ruining it for everybody else. And so what I was then wondering is, hey, listen, if the majority of the violent crime and the majority of the issues, and I'm going to bring it back, don't worry. If the majority of the violent crime and the majority of the issues is largely based off of the demographic not holding itself accountable, then is it the system's fault? Is the police fault for arresting them for committing crimes? Or is it the people that committed the crimes fault for creating the culture that then is not conducive for the black community? And it's the same thing that happens when we talking about going places, vacations. It's a certain culture, a certain norm that you continue to see people complain about, that continue to mess it up for everybody else, that continues to create a stereotype that people like me have to overcome. And it's not based off of the fact that it's the company's fault. It's not Carnival's fault. It's the people's fault for thinking that Carnival is supposed to subject themselves to something that they're not. It's not Carnival's fault. It's not Carnival's fault. It's the ghetto people that is on the cruises. So she can try that on Caribbean or Royal Caribbean or whatever, Virgin or whatever, so on and so forth. And she perfectly summarized it. She said, oh, I can't go on there because they too stuffy for the type of fun that we trying to have. Exactly. Exactly. And so they've already addressed the issue and prevented it from becoming a problem. And so now you feeling some type of way about it, because they're not accommodating to what you want to do and the type of trouble you're trying to get into. And so y'all don't think that you can have fun unless you ghettoifying it up. You don't believe that it's a way for you to be able to have a good time unless you are doing backflips, or you got to be the loudest and you take over the entire pool, and other people that then paid their good hard-earned money, they can't go on there and enjoy it in the same way that other people traditionally do. There's a time and a place for everything, and I just don't think that we understand that. We just think that we can do whatever it is that we want to do when we want to do it. But shout out to Carnival. They didn't directly say anything, but they addressed it indirectly by removing certain elements and making sure that y'all take care of business. Stop sneaking weed on, stop sneaking alcohol, stop tearing up everything, and stop destroying the entire place and needing security just because you're there. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. I always like to make sure that I link back to the content creator. I love you. I appreciate you. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat.